Start the rock and roll.
Hey, how you doing? This is AKA The Weathered Soul, and we got little DJ Dougie over there. How's it going? Welcome to The Weathered Soul Podcast, another week of the best show on the internet that you've never heard of, and we're just here today just to entertain you. It's been a great weekend, and we want to thank everybody that tunes into this show. If you're here on YouTube right now, we want you to hit that share button. We want you to hit that like button. We want you to subscribe to the WSLN network, because we are live on YouTube every Monday night at 7 o'clock. We're also here on Facebook Live every Monday night at 7 o'clock, unless we'd have difficulties or I work late or Dougie's not feeling good or whatever, and then we push it off another day. But we want to welcome you here every week because we have something to say every time news comes out or something special comes out. This is our Zoom call that me and Dougie have every week, and you guys are privileged to just be in here right now and be a part of our little conversation, and we love it that you're here. You can get us many places. You can get us on anchor.fm, which is what we usually do our audio podcast from. So that's anchor.fm/The Weathered Soul Podcast. Or you can also catch us on Stitcher, iTunes, any of those great podcatchers that we have out there. And it's just a real fun time, man. We got a couple of different places that you can go to go find us. And number one is our AKA The Weathered Soul Facebook page. And if you go there, John and Nicole just sent me a nice little message that says we're on. And this is our Weathered Soul podcast page. You can get there by typing in your little search box right there, AKA The Weathered Soul. You can get there, you can join the club, and you can get into all kinds of things that we get into, all my opinions, all my memes, all my stuff. Dougie is not there on the social media because he don't do that. And then all of a sudden we have also the In the Pit of My Stomach page, which is also part of the Weathered Soul podcast. It's going to become a segment every week here on the Weathered Soul podcast because I'm kind of consolidating all my stuff together. You're going to find out that we're going to talk about all kinds of things, just not the news. I'm into gardening, I'm into entertaining, I'm into all kinds of things. Dougie's into science, Dougie's into politics, I'm into politics. We got all kinds of things to talk about. And also you can get us on the WSLN YouTube network, and that's where you're finding us right now if you're looking at us live. And we just want to thank you for being here, and it's just a great time. Dougie, we had a great time this weekend, didn't we, man? It was pretty cool being out there in the crowd like we were just like normal people again, right?
Yeah, it's too bad that all those other people had to be there. I mean, all they were doing was just talking and making noise. Couldn't hear the music. I couldn't hear you talk.
What were you talking about? The person that leaned over to me and said, "Hey, look, somebody's playing music out there." I know I was talking a little loud. We were kind of a little bit lit with a little bit more wine than we probably should have drank on a Sunday afternoon, but it was very, 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 very fun. And it's just California is starting to open up around here, and it's just it was a good feeling to be out. I mean, Dougie and Ab, DJ Doug and his wife Abby are just great friends of ours. We go out and double dates a lot, and we just miss that. And just being able to get out and Governor Newsom just untightening the noose that he has around us, and we can get out there, and it's just a great time that we can go out there. I didn't get much. I did get some gardening done. I screwed up on my drink of the week. My boss every week, he when I leave the office, I go, "Well, what are you drinking this week?" And he goes, "We're going to drink Negritos or something like that." And he told me it was, equal parts of gin and Campari and vermouth. Well, I couldn't find vermouth. And I didn't know I couldn't find vermouth because I thought that I grabbed it, but I actually grabbed 2 bottles of Campari. I mixed all the 3 together, and it was like the bitterest drink that I've ever had in my life. So, yeah, it was pretty bad. But I've got faith in him because he always gives us a good drink, and it's one of those things that I spaced out on. I'm not a mixologist, and I'm trying to try all these different things. But his last week's thing when you guys were drinking the Willow Glen punch with me, that was pretty good. Yeah, that hit the vodka very well. But we did really good, man. How you doing? How's it going with you?
I'm doing good.
Okay,
it's good
is that
around
what you're
here.
gonna say?
Yeah, big excitement.
Opine with me, man.
We got our house insulated last week. That's a big thing. I think we're already feeling the effects of it. Like the house has been pretty much the same temperature since yesterday afternoon. Mm-hmm. And usually, cool. It changes by 20 degrees plus or minus. In the morning it's 60 degrees inside, and by the afternoon, on a day like today, it'd be 70. Today it was just hanging out like 68 morning and 70 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's really
so hopefully
hot.
That I was just saying we're looking forward to see how that pays off around August.
Yeah. I'd be interested too, because this place gets pretty hot in August. But I mean, we have our solar on all the time, so so it only costs us pennies a day to run our air conditioner. But it sure would be nice to be able to keep that cool air in during the evening, because it gets pretty warm here. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'll be interested to see how it is and see how it is. Because insulated walled houses are really odd around California. They just don't do it. I'm sure they probably
new houses do.
Oh, new houses.
Yeah, all the lead stuff. That's
okay.
That's probably for 10 years. I mean, it's unbelievable. I remember I was doing the whole house fan ventilators.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to like a new house here in Gilroy.
Okay.
Literally, the blown-in insulation, those houses with the really tall peaked roofs,
mm-hmm.
Like the hip roofs that are 12 feet tall or whatever.
Right.
There would be 3 feet of blown-in insulation in those attics.
Oh my, yeah, geez.
Yeah,
that's a lot of insulation. That's a heck of a lot of insulation.
And it's all 2x8 walls now, or 2x6 walls. So it's 2x6 or 2x8 wall, whereas ours is all 2x4. So they get an extra 30% of insulation in the walls now too.
Man, that's a lot of insulation. But I'll be interested to figure out, find out how you guys doing, and maybe I'll do it next year. You never know, man.
Right. It's not like a new house, right? Our house is, you've got studs, you've got lath, and then you've got stucco. I mean, there's no Tyvek, vacuum pack ceiling or anything like that. So
it's not like never you see on HGTV anymore.
Yeah, but every little bit helps, right?
Yeah, because my house is creaky and 50 years old, so something like that. And then my body is 60 years old. So we're going to kind of get into the first segment here. And like I said, welcome to the Weathered Soul podcast. Hey, we're going to do some things that are really different tonight. We got segments going on, and I got a good segment coming up here. And it has to do with my side business with probiotics and plant-based supplements. I really want to share with you. I've been working on the video and the intro, so forgive me, I'm not a video editor yet, but I'm trying. My audio editing is far surpasses my video editing. But we're going to do this, and we're going to talk about some plant-based supplements and probiotics from a company that I'm doing business with right now, and it's just going to be really good. So I'm going to drop Dougie off the podcast, and then we'll see him back here after the segment, and we will see you. You'll see Dougie back here in a little bit. All right, there we go. The following segment is brought to you by Plexus Worldwide. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Okay, well, you know that you got Bruce Weather Soul here, and if you've been following me for the last year or so, you know that I'm an enthusiastic advocate for gut health and wellness. And in July of 2020, I met two incredible people in the middle of this pandemic, and I decided to take control over my health and wellness. And over the past several months, I've added plant-based supplements and probiotics into my daily routine, and I can only tell you that I have never felt better in my whole life. From chronic indigestion that I've had, inflammation due to age, wear and tear, my sugar cravings, and generally low energy, the products that I'm getting from Plexus Worldwide have changed not only my daily life, but the lives of many of my friends and my wife, Tracy. There's so many answers to long-suffered questions about wellness. I can only answer it by just the testimonials that I've heard from thousands of Plexus customers. And today, I want to share with you some short testimonies and the special offers that Plexus has during the month of April to help you get started on the path to a healthier you and your family. And today with me, we have John and Nicole Odermatt, and you might recognize John from the host of Finding Freedom podcast of Lions of Liberty, and John and his lovely wife, Nicole, happen to be the driving force behind my endorsement of these fine products from Plexus Worldwide. And they're here to help me explain just how important gut health and how it can benefit you and your family. So, hey, John, Nicole, how you guys doing?
Good, Bruce.
Hey, thanks for having us.
I know it's late there in Pennsylvania, and I'm so happy that you're here. You know, it's 7:00 here on the coast where the time is always right, and you guys are, things happen way before over there than they happen to here. But
I thought we were on the right coast and you were on the left coast.
That's what they say. We're on the left coast, so I mean that's really what it is.
But we're night owls anyways, so it doesn't matter to us.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm just so happy that you guys have decided to join the podcast with me and be a part of this. John and Nicole, some other people that will be helping us with these segments every month to be bringing you more information about what I'm into, this plant-based supplements and probiotics. And it's just done wonders for me. I know it's done wonders for you. I met John early in 2020. And I've been following him on the Lions of Liberty podcast and things like that. He teased me through social media on getting into this Plexus Worldwide. And to tell you the truth, I'm never looking back. I mean, it's been a great ride for me. And I just really want to talk about, for me, it's like I said, it's been the chronic indigestion. It was the inflammation due to my age and my wear and tear. I played baseball for years and just ruined my body and stuff like that. And believe me, after taking these products, after the first 15 days, I did a 30-day trial on them or 30-day actual investigative report on them through the Weather Soul podcast. And within 15 days, I was feeling amazingly better. And I want to get your guys' input about, number one, just your short testimony and how you guys are doing with the products. I know you've been doing them for a long time, and just what the product of the month is and what kind of specials that we can give these people that are listening in today.
Yeah, I guess I can start, and then you can tell us a little bit about the product of the month, Vital Biome. But I've been taking Plexus products for I guess about 4 years now, and I've seen tremendous results. I've lost a bunch of weight, about 50 pounds throughout the course of this, and went from someone who was tired, exhausted, like a zombie throughout the day, to having the energy to come home after work and get a workout in, or to play with our daughter Ruby, and it's been life changing, honestly. And on top of that, in these pandemic times, these COVID times, to be able to boost your immune system, that's been another benefit. And the product that we're going to talk about tonight or feature tonight, Vital Biome, it does a couple different things. Nicole can talk about that when she's on. One of the things that I love about it is it really helps with boosting immunity, couples with the multivitamin that we take as well, just to give you a powerful boost to your immune system. And it's also very good at helping with things like stress and anxiety, things like that. And it's called Vital Biome. And it's one of the products that if we run out of it, which is very rare to happen. But if we do, I can tell in a couple days if Nicole hasn't been taking.
Well, this guy's been stealing my Vital Biome recently. I actually had to hide the bottle from him because we were about to run out before my next order. And I thought, oh my goodness, I need this more than him. So I'm hoarding it in my cabinet. And now I'm going to have to order extra since he's been using it as well. But yeah, I love it because it's a little tiny, the tiniest capsule we have. And it's so easy. I just take it in the morning when I wake up. And it's just been a game changer. And really, for us, it's called the Happy Life capsule, I think. Peace in a bottle, whatever you want to call it. So when I started these products, it was a little over 4 years ago, just a few months before John got started on them. And I honestly didn't know much about gut health at the time. But as I started taking the products and started learning more, I realized how beneficial this can be for my life. And honestly, I didn't think gut health was that important. And I was totally wrong once I realized seeing what it was doing in my life. And one of the main things was my mental health. I was really struggling with my mental health before Plexus came into my life. I had just had our daughter, who is now 5.5 years old. At the time, she was about a year old when I heard about it. I started the products when she was about 1.5 years old. And it's, when you get your gut right, so many other things fall into place. Like John mentioned, it affects your immune system. 70% of our immune cells are actually located inside of our gut. So as you can imagine, if you're getting your gut healthy, you're not going to be as sick. And I feel like we've been so blessed to just be like ahead of the game during this whole pandemic time. Like we had already been taking this stuff for years and getting our gut right. And personally, I used to be someone that was sick all of the time. So my immune system was really out of whack. It would start in the fall and go through the spring, and I would be sick with something for a week or two, be healthy-ish for a week or two, and then I'm sick again, and then I'm on antibiotics. And then the antibiotics, when they're going into your body, and yeah, it's necessary sometimes to take them, but what that's doing is killing off all the good bacteria in your gut. And it actually takes your gut 1 year to recover from just one round of antibiotics.
Yeah, that was an amazing statistic that I never knew. And it was just like blew me away when I heard that. And then I've done some research on it, and it's just all these things that the Plexus Worldwide says is true about about plant-based supplements and probiotics. I mean, you can look them up yourself. We got experts in the company that have been doing the research on it, and there's hard evidence for it. And they're great products.
Yeah, absolutely. And in addition to that, I mean, he's got all the info right there as well. But we have in our gut, 90% of the serotonin that our bodies produce is actually located in our gut as well. And serotonin is the mood boosting, hormone in our gut. So that's where you're getting that stress, mood, feel good. Like I said, happy wife, happy life stuff. That's what this is going to do. So this contains 8 strains of beneficial bacteria probiotics. It's got 7 billion live cultures in it. And the great thing about this is, it's replenishing all that good bacteria in your gut. It's helping to seed, all that good bacteria and help it to flourish. But the great thing is we know that everything that's in this capsule is actually going to make it down into your gut. You're not going to lose any of it along the way. Sometimes you take those refrigerated probiotics or the ones that are off the shelf, and they start to activate on the way down, and then you're losing a lot of all that good stuff. With this, it does not activate until it gets down into the gut. So you're getting everything where it needs to be. So I started noticing differences in my mental health, my mood, my stress, and my anxiety that I was dealing with within just a couple of months of using this. So it's been
For sure.
a keeper in our cabinet for sure.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I pulled up what we have in our virtual office, and they have a little trifold of the Vital Biome, and it's just interesting to me about all the information that they give you on these products. And if you don't believe in what you read, I mean, there's testimonies from people like me. There's testimonies from people like you. There's testimonies from my wife who has been taking this along with me. I think we started it about a month ago, and we're on our second month of it. And believe me, I started feeling it right away. I mean, my wife took her a couple of days to start feeling the effects of it. But believe me, I'm a guy that is kind of on an even keel all the time. But, I have a high stress job. There's things that are going on in my life right now that are high stress. And believe me, to keep me on an even keel and be able to have my mental health and my wits straight about me, it is a godsend. I mean, believe me, not only the triplex that I'm taking now, which is the Slim, the Pro B5, and the BioCleanse. I mean, this in addition to it has just capped off everything, and I can't wait to just do all the rest of the products that we have. So basically, we just wanted to do a short little expose on this today, and I just really want to bring you guys back whenever you guys want to come back. But I want to find out what we got going on for April, because April is our product of the month, is going to be the Vital Biome. So that is our very special product for the month. But we also have some other special items that are going on this month. And why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
So we have the $9.95 Enrollment Special, which means that you can enroll as an ambassador, just as John and I and Bruce did.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, the cost of the membership is $39.95, so you're saving $30 there. And this gets you access to the lowest prices for an entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about some of those places you may shop at. Costco, for example, you grab a membership, usually costs you a lot more than this.
Yeah.
But with this, you're going to be getting your high quality supplements for an entire year at the lowest price. Plus, you're going to be able to earn cash back on your own orders. You also have the ability to earn free products.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'd like, you can start a business with it as well. So that is up to you. You will get a referral link as well when you enroll for $9.95.
Yep.
And like we talked about with the free products that are available to you when you have the membership, Vital Biome is the product of the month. That means you're going to get extra perks rewards for having this product on your subscription in the month of April. Perks rewards add up and accumulate so that you can earn free products every month. So.
And you can get lean, and you can
cash back. It's like points on a credit card.
Yeah, and you get lean, and you can get ease, and all the other stuff.
Try new things. Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I've tried all kinds of products, and I'm happy with every product that I've got here. And I just, like I said, I want to thank you guys for being here, and it's just been fantastic for you guys to help me out. I'm relaunching my business. It's been kind of slow for the last couple of months because life happens and things have just been piling on. Thank God for Vital Biome, because I probably would have went crazy before this, but I really want to thank you, John, and you, Nicole, just for being here, helping me out. And thanks for being fans of the Weather Soul podcast, because I'm definitely fans of yours. And you guys want to stick around, you can stick around. If not, you can bow out and take your evening. And we're just going to get on with the show. And we just want to thank you guys again. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I think we're going to bow out, but we'll be watching.
We'll be watching the show.
Okay, then. Okay.
But don't say anything bad about us.
Okay, that was John and Nicole Odermatt. We just want to thank them for being here this week on the segment that is In the Pit of Your Stomach. It's going to be a regular segment that I'm going to be able to let you guys know what's going on, number one, with my business in Plexus, what's going on for the business, or actually the product of the month, how you can get into business, how you can help yourself out with health and wellness. If you're not into, doing your own thing with organics and eating right and stuff like that, there's definitely ways that I can help you out. And I will get you all the information you want. They'll be in the show notes today. You can always email me at info@weatheredsoul.com, and I'll give you all that information later. So, but like I said, we just want to thank John and Nicole for being here. How you doing, Doug? Did we put you to sleep? Oh, his microphone's off. Put your microphone on, Doug. There he is. Oh, there you are, Dougie.
Hey, there we go.
How's it going, buddy?
All right.
Hey, we're new at this, man. I'm going back and forth and trying to do things here and there, so I just don't know what the heck I'm doing, but we're here. But hey, I also got to think, if you want a product or a service that you'd like to advertise with the Weathered Soul podcast, please drop us an email at info@weatheredsoul.com or give me a call at 408-842-1328. I would be happy to endorse your product and bring you guys on the show, and we can have a product launch or whatever you want to do. Let's talk about it and see what you can do. Like I said, if you have a product or service that you'd like to advertise with the Weathered Soul podcast, please drop us an email at info@weatheredsoul.com or call us at 408-842-1328. So, Dougie, we got something to talk about, don't we? We got a good I think we got a good thing to talk about today. I'm really excited about it. We were talking about it earlier this week, and now I can't even find the picture that I wanted to use, but we'll try to find it anyway. But we want to talk about the devaluation of the dollar, and I think it's really important that we should talk something about about what the dollar's doing right now, because it's just really kind of been a topsy-turvy thing. It's got a lot of attention in the news. And the quantitative easing started happening, about a decade ago, once we started getting the first stimuluses in after the Great Recession that we had, that was caused by, just by the housing boom, the bubble, and what's been going on with the financial situations in the markets. And but we're talking about something that happened way back in 2013. It's really interesting to me. Here we go. I can get that up there, right there. And I wanted to show you this actual. It's a meme that comes out, and it's a graph that shows that when the Federal Reserve Act created the central bank with the ability to manage the country's money, and that was back in I think it was 1911 or 1913. Somewhere in that area, they had the Federal Reserve Act. Now, Dougie is the resident historian. He could probably tell me more about what's going on, because he's from back east. He's like John and Nicole, and he's from back east, not more knowledgeable than us, corn-fed freaking suntan California boys. And but at one time the nation was on a gold standard. With the currency that we have, you were able to exchange your money for gold and gold for money. You can still do that today, but the actual currency that we have today is not actually backed by gold. It's backed by debt, I believe, or a promise. I guess you would want to call it a promise. Am I getting that right, Doug?
Well, pretty much, but kind of bouncing around.
Yeah, I'm bouncing around a little bit. Yeah.
You want the Federal Reserve Act was basically put there so that the country would have one money, right? So that your money would be the same as my money, would be the same as their money, would be the same as their money. And somebody's not going to say, well, I'm going to give you 12 cents for that ounce of gold, and somebody else say, no, I'm going to give you 9 cents for that ounce of gold.
Well, we still had a lot of.
So it has to be one bank.
Yeah,
the country has to have one bank and one monetary system.
Yeah, didn't we have a whole bunch of currencies flying around at that time anyway, too? I mean, there was still Confederate cash probably still flying around. I mean, that was pretty close to still the end of the Civil War and stuff like that. So there had to be a bunch of different types of cash flying around. They were still trading gold and silver. You see the cowboy movies where he flips the silver dollar on the bar, and you get the bottle of whiskey and stuff like that. So I'm sure that it was probably confusing when the United States came out with pennies, nickels, dimes, and dollars, right?
Well, yeah, and not just that either, but industrialists needed something to trade internationally with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's like I'll buy that for $12.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but what's $12 worth? Well, what's it going to be worth tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I going to be able to do with it when I get it?
Well, I think it's still kind of
questions like that have to be answered. So that's why you have to have a federal type banking system.
But
plus you need some sort of system to back up everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, everything's so tied to the dollar. I mean, the dollar is the quote the reserve currency right now in the world. I mean, there's plenty of countries out there. China would like them to go to the yuan and things like that. And there's been scuttlebutt about, or big scare tactics saying that, oh yeah, it's gonna go that way. I haven't seen a huge push of it going that way. However, what I do see when I'm looking at this graph and such is that the Federal Reserve Act was created central bank with the ability to manage the country's money supply in 2000 or 1913 or 1911, or 1913. But it was still gold backed or still metal backed or precious metal backed security at that time.
Yeah.
And then we went through looked like a pretty steep downfall right into 1920 with that. So a couple of things that I want to comment.
Well, what do you mean by a steep downfall?
A steep downfall of the worth of the dollar or the buying power of the dollar. I want to say the buying. I don't want to say the worth. I want to say the buying power, and whether that was caused by the amount of product that was on the amount or the neglect of product that was on the shelf to buy, or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I listened to Peter Schiff, who's a gold guy, and he claims that, as currency goes down, the price of commodities and gold and silver, actually metals, go up. And I've been watching him for a good 10 years, and that's not going on. It really isn't.
Yeah, well,
in fact,
and it also doesn't have anything to do with this chart.
Yeah, and in fact, a lot of lateral movement. That's
this chart has to do with money availability and purchasing power.
Right.
Okay.
But they use that. What I'm saying is why I picked up this particular chart, is that they use this chart trying to prove that gold has a direct correlation to the worth of the dollar, or Bitcoin, or whatever right now, because Bitcoin's the popular the popular thing right now, and they started talking about that in regards to this,
the latest fad,
the latest fad,
whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It's not even real money. You can't spend it. It's pretty stupid. But anyway,
let's talk about
this.
Let's talk about this.
So what happened in that period of time? The country grew. All the industrialists started taking over. We started pumping tons and tons of oil. People they were manufacturing cars. The lifestyle was going up. More people were having jobs. There was more money in the economy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so when there are fewer dollars, when you're the only one that has a dollar, and everybody else wants one. You can buy whatever the hell you want with it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But when everybody else has dollars, then your dollar isn't worth so much. Okay, so that's what that's indicating. Yeah. And and all those ups and downs all have to do with like either a pull of higher demand, right? It's either being pulled down by higher demand, or it's being pushed up by higher prices.
Right. Because I would like to see that correlation, because when you're looking at this chart again, we're just going to briefly go on it. We're looking at this chart here at 1913, and then we go down here to 1920 right here. Well, what happened? What little important thing happened in between these two dates right here? Well, number one, World War I happened. Okay. And then also what happened was the Spanish flu pandemic happened also. And right about there is when it, I don't want to say it ended, but I'm pretty sure we started kind of to pull out. But if you go over here to 2020, we don't have any data past there. I'm wondering if that steep curve right there, that steep drop, would show over here within the next year or two of how that looked. I mean, we're not in a war or
Well, we're
anything.
going to go into minus numbers.
Are we going to go into minus number? Hey, they're talking about that with the actual what the interest rate that they're doing. But another thing that got me is that you got the Roaring 20s. Everybody started consuming. Everybody started. I'm sure that money started to be printing out of this world. We had the 1921 silver dollar that came out, and they were still printing or doing coins out of metal, out of precious metal, out of silver.
Yeah.
I don't think, there's some gold stuff there too. And then the stock market crashed. And you would think that if the stock market crashed, that the buying power of the dollar would go down, but that's not what happened.
No.
What happened is the buying power of the dollar went up.
Because fewer people had dollars.
Because fewer people had dollars. Fewer people had dollars. Exactly. Now it's starting to make sense. And then the Roosevelt came by in looks like 1931, 32, probably 31, and decriminalized possession of gold, which is a little bit far-fetched. They asked you to turn in your gold. They didn't actually come to your house and if they knew you had gold or silver, they arrested you and took your gold, because there's plenty of old gold and old silver pieces out there that you can buy right now. They're called numismatics, and you can buy them. So I would imagine if it was that illegal and prohibitive to have these gold pieces, that they wouldn't be available today on the market. But to me, it's a little bit misleading on what they say on that. But like I said, I don't know a lot about fiat cash. I mean, to me right now.
Right. Well, why do you think that he had to do that? Because look at that stark change from the stock market crash to where he criminalized the possession of gold. I mean, look at that. That's almost a straight line up. This goes from 0 to 25%. So that's almost a 20% increase.
20%, or about a 20% increase
in the value of the dollar, of the dollar's buying power over what, just a few years, 5 years?
Right, 5 years. But when I was listening,
so what was happening there?
So
what would have happened if he didn't pull the gold in? Would that have just kept shooting up?
I don't know, because I'm so confused about how the gold is tied, or how precious metals are tied into the dollar.
If the money's in people's pockets or in their walls and not in Fort Knox, then he can't print more paper dollars.
Oh, true. That's true.
So that's what he was trying to control. He wanted to get the gold in so he could print more paper dollars to get the value of the dollar to go down again.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would you have liked that at the time, or what? I mean, to me, I don't like anybody to tell me that I can't save. I can't save now, to tell you the truth. I mean, I can save all my money that I want, but I have to invest my money in the stock market if I want to make any money, because if I just put it in the bank with a savings account, it's not like we're making 4%, 5%, and 6% off our money.
Right, well, that's
anymore.
a whole different thing.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that, to me, that's telling me that, the president doesn't want us to have any gold, because, he can't make, like you said, he can't print any more dollars unless the gold's over in Fort Knox backing the cash that he's made. So
right, but then that changed.
Yeah, well, it changed a lot, because right after that, the value of the dollar went down again, and the buying power of the dollar went down again. And it's just interesting to me how it just keeps going down. We've had some crashes in the stock market all the way through the 30s into the wartime, 1940 into 45, and we really didn't recover economically. I mean, we had a series of stock market crashes, and we were we were rationing things that were beyond anything that we've been rationing for the last year or so, or the hardships that we've had now. I mean, they were rationing everything. What we did was we actually turned all of our production and our manufacturing into wartime activities of making bombs and bullets and tanks and this and that, and there wasn't really anybody here in the United States to do anything, because most of our our young people and our able-bodied men were overseas fighting the war. Really wasn't until 1945 when everybody started coming back from overseas that everything kind of ramped up and the economy recovered. But right here about 1945, you see, you see still everybody having more money, like Dougie would say, everybody having more money, and the value or your buying power of that dollar dropping all the way down until we get down to about 1970 when Nixon and the gold standard was abandoned. And that's when we started going from a securities backed or a precious metal backed currency to a debt security. And as you can see from there, we went all the way down to about 2010, and then quantitative easing in 2008 after the bubble burst, because we had the dot-com bubble right in here. And then we had the quantitative easing, our first stimulus package come out during that time. And you don't see any kind of steep declines. It's just kind of been on an even keel. So I'm really confused. It's something that I'm really, really interested.
Well, that little meme was put there to make you confused.
Yeah.
Because it
no,
doesn't
exactly.
tell you anything about anything except a direct correlation to what you could buy with $1 then and what you can buy with $1 now. Hey, right. So how about we just say now $1 bills are gone. There's 1,000 pennies to $1, and $10 bills are $1 bills. So now you can go buy a Big Mac meal at McDonald's for a $1 bill. Would that make you feel better?
No.
Would that make you feel better?
Well, would it make me feel better?
Yeah, it would make you feel better because you don't know the difference. Oh, gee, now it's only $1. Oh, I'm smart.
No. That's
it doesn't matter what the price is.
No, but that's not what I meant.
But that's what that chart is showing you, and that's where you're getting your. I'm confused from, because that chart isn't showing you a goddamn thing. It's showing you that showing you if you want to feel better, we'll just take a zero off of all the dollars. So now $100 bill is worth 10. $10 bill is worth 1. So you can go to McDonald's and buy a Big Mac meal for $1. Would that make you feel better? Oh, gee, look, $1's worth so much now because I can buy a Big Mac for $1.
Well, that's what they do in Venezuela. So
and Mexico and a lot of other countries.
And a lot of other countries, they just start devaluating their currency to the point that
they're not really devaluating it. They're just changing it because it's too hard to count all those zeros.
No, that's true.
I mean, you got like a million lira dollar, a million lira bill. Yeah. A million lira bill. It's like, why?
Then let's get into that discussion about inflation and about what the Federal Reserve says that inflation is. Now we can talk about the monetary inflation that they say is 1%, but me and you have, we've lived through this pandemic now for a year. We've seen what's been going on with the prices, especially in gas. Petroleum products right now. I'm probably paying.
Oh, that's here.
What would you say? Yeah, a buck more. Well, they're I think it's pretty much the same all the way across the board or across the United States as far as the way, because in Texas they pay I think it was $1.97. My buddy Bobby said he was paying, and now they're paying $2.97. So it's been $1 across the board pretty much around the whole United States of a price increase. Does it impact me much? No, it doesn't impact me, but it concerns me that it does impact those that can least afford being able to buy that. And the inflation itself is kind of eating stuff up. I was looking at milk prices the other day, and it was strange that the milk prices really, if you want premium milk, yeah, you're going to pay the price for premium milk. You're going to pay, $4.35, $4.75, something like that for a gallon of milk here in California. But you can go still buy the WIC grade milk that you can buy, still 2%, still. I drink it. It's still it's $2.89 to $3.27, whatever within that price range. So that really hasn't raised up, but meat has raised up. Lumber prices are going skyrocketing out of this world. I'm surprised that I'm getting my fence built here in about 2 weeks. I was surprised at the price that I got because I figured I was going to pay at least double that. Yeah, but I saw some people that were bought some wood up in Canada of $420 for about 10 pieces of 4x8 by 12 foot. So at $420 for about 10 pieces. That's incredible.
Wow.
That's what type of inflation we're looking at right now. And does that actually mean that your dollar's worth less? Yeah, I think the printing of money is definitely going to do that to us. I mean, you know, anytime that you print money and you glut, you know, the populace with money, no matter whether you give it to me or whether you give it to the corporations, you're going to find yourself, you're going to have higher prices down the road. And unfortunately, that's just the way of the world. I don't know what it's going to take for the government to go like, this ain't working. But apparently it's working for Wall Street because Wall Street keeps going up. My stock market keeps going up. I keep praying every day that I'm doing the right thing when I pull it out and put it back in. But it's one of those things. It's your economic 101 kind of minute. And, you know, that's where we're at with this meme right here. I just wanted to show it to you. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. And
you
hear about it all the time. And that big, long, flat section there from whatever, the mid-50s on.
That again. Yeah, about right. Actually, about from about 1990 on. Yeah, maybe 1980 and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's just been kind of a slow down. I mean, you know, they don't show a lot. So 2 boxes, what they say, 1987. You could buy a Hershey. What was it now? $1 buys 30 Hershey bars. And then in 2000, $1 buys 4 grapefruits. I mean, what kind of comparison?
Yeah, exactly. What is that? Yeah,
I'm trying to think of what kind of comparison is that. You know, $1 buys one McDonald's coffee. I could still make coffee for 15 cents. You know, so the meme was interesting because it catches your eye and you're going like, oh my god, the price of the dollar or the worth of the dollar is crashing. But it actually is. I mean, it really is. In reality,
and that's really not reflecting inflation.
Right. In reality,
inflation would be the opposite of that curve.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there looking at this and I'm going like, you know, I look at my 401k every so often. I do play the stock markets and stuff like that with my retirement and things like that. And I look at that and I think about, and I talked to my mom about this because she's been living with us for she's been cycling through the kids lately. And she asked me, she says, well, how much do you have for retirement? And I told her, I got X amount. And she's all like, oh, that's a lot. I'm going like, no, it's not
a lot when you retired, Mom.
It was a lot when you retired, Mom. And but right now I'm kind of worried that I don't have enough, and it's just one of those things where, man, it's kind of scary out there when you're looking at that number that you have in your retirement or your savings and stuff like that. And back when you were a kid, you were going like, man, if I had that much money, I'd be all right, And now we're in the 2020s and I'm just going like, yeah, don't look like enough, man.
They should have told me to save 95% of my salary, not 5%. Sorry.
Well, I had another segment that I wanted to share with you guys today, but I don't think that it's up. I don't think that it's up and ready to go. I've been trying to get it out and ready for you guys, but it just didn't come across. And what I've been wanting to do is I've been wanting to share my passion with you. One of my passions is gardening. And one of the ways that another thing that's going to be going on in a segment is going to be my passion for gardening, for entertaining, just doing landscaping and things like that. It's just really my passion. And Dougie's been in my backyard. He's seen the evolution of my backyard for 12 years now, and he's seen it at its up and it's down and it's dirtiest and it's worst. And it's an interesting dichotomy when you look at it. And to see my backyard from the winter to the summer is actually just it's amazing to see what happens. And I want to show you guys how I got there. And the segment that we're going to be doing, and we're not going to do it tonight. I planned on doing it tonight, but it's not going to happen. Is that I want to show you how I worked my backyard over 12 years. And this segment is not going to be for you guys that are going to go and say, I can do that with the landscaper and stuff like that. You can go pay, $25, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 to have a landscaper come in and do your yard. Okay. But I had a nice backyard when I moved in here, and I extenuated on what I had. It took me 12 years to get my garden to where it's at right now. And believe me, I can stick a shovel in the ground and barely have to give it one of these, and the shovel just buries itself into the ground. And believe me, it takes a lot to do that. I want to show you how I do it. And those of you that are interested in wondering how that stuff works out, I've got a guest, Josh Forsyth. He has Forsyth Farms. I've had him on here a couple of times. He's going to come back. He's going to aggravate Dougie to no end, and they're going to have a good time together.
Why would he aggravate me?
Because you guys love each other. But anyway, no, he has some great information on how to urban farm and how to do compost piles and stuff like that. What he does what they call lasagna layering or something like that.
Yeah,
Dougie does compost piles. I do compost piles. I know how to work the soil. Dougie knows how to work the soil. He knows how to seed. He knows how to do all the rooting and stuff like that. I just think that people are going to be interested in this. And if you're one of those, we just welcome you to be here, and be here every week, because we're going to do a little segment on it every week.
It doesn't matter, really how big of a gardener you are or not. To have a compost pile is always a good thing. Yep. Right, because it gives you soil, right? So sometime you're going to plant something, or something's going to need a little dirt. We want to plant a potted plant or whatever. You have that to augment it. Also, it's a way to get rid of some of your refuse. Right. Your lawn clippings and all that stuff goes in your yard waste bin. And it goes to a landfill somewhere. And if it gets buried and it gets sealed from oxygen, it will never decompose. Maybe it'll turn into coal someday or something. I don't know. But we're talking millions of years, right?
You can make diamonds in your backyard if you.
Yeah. But a little compost thing going. It doesn't even have to be big. I mean, you can have one that's the size of a small garbage can. 18 inches in diameter and 2 feet high, or you can have something that's 3 separate components. Each one 6 feet high with removable gates and yada yada yada. Or you can go, if you want to be the Martha Stewart type gardener, you can, buy like a $750 composting machine that, you just throw the stuff in one end and dirt comes out the other end a couple of days later. You don't even have to think about it. Yeah. Right. So there's a lot, so something for every level, not just the intense gardener, or even the intense backyard gardener, or the urban farmer. Yeah. Anybody.
Yeah, we're going to show you how to do it. Yeah, we're going to show you how to do it. I'll show you from the bare bones of what I did. I had a video for you. I promise I'll have it for you next week. It's a very interesting video. It's about 5 minutes, and it's just shows you how I work my soil, and it takes some blood, sweat, and tears, guys. But some of you guys that want to do that and like to get your hands dirty in the soil, because it's really healthy to get your hands in the soil. I like to work barefooted too, so I'm out there, and it's just really good, man. And you get to learn a lot about dirt. You get to learn a lot about plants. You get to learn a lot about weeds. You get to learn a lot about insects, because not all those insects out there are bad. Not all those weeds out there that are bad. Everybody's got these nice sanitary gardens that sometimes you see laying around, and some of those sanitary gardens are the worst gardens that you can have, because there's no protection. There's no protection from the natural insects that try to eat your plants. So you have to have. Yeah.
The other thing too is someone like you, in a small area backyard garden that you use the same place over and over and over again.
Right.
There's a lot of maintenance to keep that soil healthy.
Absolutely.
Every year plants are pulling stuff out of it. You need to add more stuff into it. Stuff accumulates into it that you need to purge out of it. There's a lot to it.
Yeah, you need to let them rest every once in a while. So I one of my boxes is back in shape, and I didn't use it for a year, and so you got to let those things do that. Get that.
Let the worms get in there.
Oh yeah, let the worms get in there, man. I had my top box was so filled with worms. I was just like, oh my gosh, it was just incredible. Every time I pulled up a shovel, I had probably 5 big. I mean, I'm talking huge, nice, fat earthworms, man.
Wow. You
could
be a farmer for Wendy's hamburgers.
You keep telling me about Wendy's hamburgers. Those are the best. Those are the best hamburgers around, man.
That was an urban legend from the late 70s.
I'll tell you what, those worms are good, though.
Yeah.
But like I said, we love you here at the Weathered Soul Podcast. You can listen to our audio podcast on anchor.fm/the Weathered Soul Podcast. You have a chance to donate. You can support the show by donating as little as 99 cents a month. And where can you find a deal like that for 99-cent monthly donation? I will get you a weekly newsletter from yours truly, aka the Weathered Soul. And I love to write. I love to opinionate. I love to lampoon. I like to post all kinds of memes and stuff like that. And you can go to anchor.fm, press the support button. It'll come up, and you can do a 99-cent donation for me. They'll give me your email address, and I'll send you out that newsletter every month. And for $4.99, not only will you get my weekly newsletter, we will answer your comments and questions during the Community is Unity segment, which we don't have tonight because this is our Community is Unity segment. You support us, we support you. But for $4.99, we will actually, you got questions, you've got comments and stuff like that. We would be more than happy to pick up one of your topics, answer your questions. Dougie is a wealth of knowledge. He is the historian. I mean, just listen to the last segment that we had. It was fantastic.
If you got any comments, good, bad, or indifferent, you got to send it with a check.
and for $9.90 a month, we will give you a 30-second read to promote your product, website, or business, and you will get 1 read a month for $9.99. You can't find advertising for any cheaper than $9.99 a month. For this podcast. It's the greatest podcast that nobody's ever heard of, and you can get us every week. And all you got to do is share the show. If you're listening live on YouTube, hit that share button, hit that like button, subscribe to the podcast. It's fantastic. If you're on Facebook, share this podcast. If you like this podcast, keep and share it. If you don't like this podcast, send it to your enemy. Maybe he'll like the podcast. And everybody likes Dougie. So I mean, there's no reason why nobody would like the podcast. So we like to, and also, if you'd like to know more about Plexus products, drop me an email either at one of my 2 addresses. Here's the one address that goes straight to it, info@indepitofmystomach@gmail.com, or you can get me at info@weatheredsoul.com. And it's just, I'm waiting for all that stuff. I've got some ideas, Dougie. Before we close the show, I want to talk about some ideas. We were going to do a segment called In Case You Missed It. And I think it's a real fun thing that we're going to do called In Case You Missed It. In Case You Missed It is going to be one of those segments where we talk about news that you might have missed. And I was thinking about it today, and I'm going like, we did those videos when we were together a couple weeks ago where I was taking the video camera around and having everybody say, in case you missed it, right? I was thinking that maybe our listeners, if they would like to be a part of this podcast and actually be on this podcast, why don't you take a video of you saying, in case you missed it, and giving us that news item or that certain subject that we might have missed during the week. And me and Doug would be more than happy to opine on it, comment on it, or have you on the show to start talking about it. So that's something that's coming up within the next couple of weeks. I want to work on it. I want to kind of kibitz it and massage it in. This Weather Soul podcast is ever changing. and I just think that, we're trying all kinds of things to keep you listeners engaged and occupied, being able to listen to us two guys just wondering when the hell you're going to get off our grass. And, like I said, this is the time of the podcast where I start gushing all over Dougie, because, man, Dougie's like my best friend, man. He's the best fucking co-host anybody can have. That's the guy right there. He's the guy that keeps the Weather Soul podcast going. He is. He is. But anyway, an hour flies by. It really does. Yeah. And we get to do this a couple times a week, though. Also, I mean, me and Dougie, we talk on the phone, going home from work some days. And a lot of times we spend an afternoon or an evening together during the weekend and around the fire pit or at a winery or wherever. And we just have a good time talking, and just a great time having Dougie as my co-host. And
now that it's safe to come out of the cave.
Now that it's safe to come out of the cave, we're going to come out of the cave in a big way. And we might be expanding a little bit longer than we need to. It might be going on a little bit longer than an hour coming up, depending on what the segments look like and things like that. We want to thank again John and Nicole Odermatt for coming on and just helping me out with Plexus Worldwide. We want to thank you guys for tuning in every week, and you guys that are bringing up the numbers on the audio podcast. You can get us on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment. We'd be more than happy to mention you on the podcast. We're getting all kinds of comments. We're getting all kinds of recognition out there. We can go out and go like, hey, you guys are the podcast guys. And it's kind of nice to know that people are out there listening to us. And this is the time that I say, Dougie, it's time to say goodnight, Dougie.
Good night, Dougie.
And community is unity, and that's what the Weather Soul podcast is all about. Share us and just be here. If you share us and you tell a friend about this podcast, I promise you that next week we will be here, man. So you guys take care. It's been a great time. We will see you next week. Later on.